Hi, loves. Welcome to week 5 of What is it? Villa Vibes and Hot Takes. Week number 5. It's okay. I'm not perfect. All good.
Number 5.
Number 5. Yeah. Can you believe it?
This is week 5. I thought it was 4.
It is? Oh, maybe it's week 4, but
No, I might be wrong.
we've been doing this for a few weeks now.
Oh,
Remember?
shoot.
Yeah, I know. It'll be
Dang.
over very soon. So,
Jesus.
I know. I don't even know where to begin, but Casa Amor just experienced a freaking earthquake of the recoupling kinds, and the
Mm-hmm.
villa is in pieces. The whole damn thing is upside down. I don't even know what
God,
to do with myself.
I don't know what
J
to do, period. You're welcome.
JD, it's Wednesday.
It's okay.
JD and Huda are sparking. I see the sparklers. Amaya is crying again. Andrina and Bryan straight up heat. And that fucking Mercedes getaway scene has gotten us going bananas. Like
I have a
seriously.
theory.
Love Island said we're not done with this fucking mess. We're gonna give you some more. That's what I think.
I have a theory about that getaway.
By the way, just for full disclosure, I might seem a little discombobulated in that intro. Usually I have my shit together, but it's fucking hot, dude. It's like a million degrees today. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Shit. Getaway
So,
scene. But we
okay.
can't start there
Oh,
because
okay.
then
So
no,
I'll get
we're
into it later.
no, we're gonna go back to that. I want to talk about before we even get to the Mercedes scene, because that's what everyone's talking about. I want to talk about Amaya. Like, is she looking for love for real or just attention? Because me tiene loca. First of all, she's always crying, and no offense, she's cute. She's
Amaya
cute,
Papaya.
but
And I
I
know she's like the
did.
people's princess right now, but
I know, but did cutting in on Olandria's
look,
new connection,
and
was
like
it
I understand.
shady or was it survival mode?
I personally, I
It's
think it was
all with
survival
love,
mode.
Amaya,
Yeah.
papaya.
I think it was definitely like, her being in survival mode. I mean, she's playing the game, like, in terms of Alandria, anyways, like, she's all about Taylor, clearly. But I think my thing, like, my biggest issue with it was the fact that, like, she didn't even, I don't know. Okay. The fact that
I need a little
she
wine for
didn't
this.
trust herself in terms of like just starting off, with her personality, like trying to get him through, like get him in the sense of like catch his attention with her personality, and the fact that she kind of had to use the kissing as like the bait and hook,
That's what
that's
turned
kind
me
of what
off.
bothered me.
And she did,
Like
in all fairness, have 24 hours. So I get
she
it.
did. And I get that. But like it's interesting because not that I don't like TJ. What's his name? TJ. I don't like TJ anymore either.
Wait,
But like
TJ,
from
which is
the
TJ?
boys, from
Uh,
the Villa boys.
who's
The
TJ?
one that also had 24 hours. That was
Oh, he
yeah.
was the one criticizing everyone's
Yeah,
kiss?
he was rude as hell.
I was
But
gonna
when you look
ask,
at
do you think
him,
that's rude or just honest? But
it's like Ariana said. She said, "Do you think that you were rude or honest?" And he was like, "I was honest." Well, he was like, "I was blunt and honest." And then she was like, "Well, they were blunt right back." Period. But
and he's
like
still
when you
there.
look at yeah, he's still there. And like I don't think was he kissing? I don't remember. I don't think he was
I don't think he's. I mean, I
But
say I
like
can't just
I don't
say.
care.
I don't know if
But
he's a
like
great
when you
kisser,
I
but
don't know. But I guess my biggest thing is like it's like girl, trust yourself. Like trust your personality. Like you know who you are. I just feel like personally, I don't think she should have needed to do have like I wish she didn't feel the need to have to kiss someone in order to like make sure they were locked in, because that's kind of what it was. And even if she wasn't doing it on purpose, I think subconsciously she knew that Alandria wasn't gonna kiss Zach. So that's why she was like, you know what? I'm gonna use that to lock him in.
but
Because look at how afterwards Zach was, when he was talking to Alandria, he was looking for a kiss after that. Like he was kind of looking to see if she would also kiss him. Because I think had it not been because Alandria didn't want to kiss him, he would have gone with her
It's hard because
personally.
24 hours is not a lot of time to make a connection. Unless
It's
it's
not,
sexual chemistry, then that's instant.
but the thing is that like it still comes down to that, you know, okay, so sure, that. But then when you go into that recoupling and she was chosen and immediately she starts crying and she's like, no, blah blah blah. I'm
That
like,
drove me nuts. That drove me nuts.
that drove me insane because I'm like, please do not start crying now after you created this situation for yourself and for Alandria.
It's like
And then
you blew up
Alandria,
my house, but then you're gonna come say, I'm sorry I blew up your house.
exactly.
Come
And
on
like, and
now.
then Alandria looked at her and she was like, come get your man. And she
I
was like,
saw that.
no.
Yeah, I saw
She was like,
that.
no, I don't want
You
to.
know
I'm
what
like,
like
yes, you
got
do.
to me
Go.
though? When Olandria said I've had to be strong all my life.
Stop.
I felt that because just about every woman knows what that feels like. You got to hold it
That
together.
got me. I feel like this year, I'm not feeling a connection to anybody, to be honest. But, like, that was the only moment
Yeah.
that kinda made me like, "Damn." And then when she left and started crying, like, once she was
Yeah.
out, like, away from everyone and she started crying, then I was like, "Damn, that sucks." Because you got Amaya, Papaya in fucking tears, Huda's bawling her
It's
eyes
not
out,
tears. It was hysterical. The whole
Shelly, her whole everything was gone. I was like, "Yo,
I
what
mean, I
is."
get it. The time in there in that bubble is very different from
Mhm.
what we're experiencing because
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
together all the time. But I think at one point, I can't remember, it might have been when Hannah left, but the whole thing when I think it was Huda, she was screaming. And I was like, yo, I
I think no,
understand.
no, that was last night, I think.
Was it last night? I
Yeah,
was like,
she
why
would
is
kinda,
she
like, curled up.
screaming?
And,
I
like,
don't
I get it,
know.
like, I think, Alandria and
Emotions were
she made a
high.
good point, though. She was like I think Huda was like or all the girls were kinda asking her, like, "How are you so strong about this right now?" And she was like, "Because ain't nobody in here gonna be strong for me." So,
Exactly.
I was like, "Yes,
That's
girl."
yeah, and I do after that I was like, wow, I connected. I there was definitely like something
Yeah.
that leveled up like how because I didn't really care for her, but then I was like, I connected with what she said. But how about like JD? I said that right. JD.
Yes.
JD and Huda. Soft energy or is there drama up ahead? I like how he took
Ah,
the news of
yeah.
his of her daughter. I did like that.
No, I like that, and I
Very
know
mature.
I think I've noticed there's stuff going around about everybody right now. I don't know the
Yeah.
specifics about JD. I don't know anything about his background that from what people have said.
Mm.
But for right now, I like it. I think he responded definitely a lot better than
He's probably
Jeremiah did.
yeah, but he's
And
probably
the
more
fact that
experienced
no,
too.
yeah, I was gonna say the fact that he said that he has dated someone with a kid in the past is very promising. Cause then it's like, okay, so he's been through this. I like the fact that he was like, well, it's you, whether you have a kid or you don't, doesn't really matter to me. It's more about our communication and like how we communicate things. I
Yeah,
was
I
like, I like that.
appreciated that. I
Did I
did.
think did he bother me a little bit with the, you know what I'm saying? Like yeah, you know what I'm saying. I was like, okay, sir, explain to me what you saying because I don't know what you saying anymore because I was confused. I was like, what are you trying to say?
That shit
But
went over my head. I
I
don't
was like,
know.
I was like, okay, you do your thing. But
So
so
talking of
far, I like him.
but talking about playing games, because we kind of touched up on this and I didn't want to touch up on it too much because I wanted to
Which
make
part?
sure. So Nick not getting
Mm.
picked. Nick was literally like it was like a 5 minute thing.
So
But
we no,
Jaden, the triangles are
I
all over the place.
so to be
So
honest with you, oh sorry. I'll let you
no,
finish.
like I think Jaden was played it smart because Austin has no one. And Nick has Sierra, and chances were that connection was strong. She would be risking it, but if she went with Austin, it was like, I got this. I'll be staying longer. Why?
So I actually think that
Uh-oh.
she was gonna stand up and she did it too late. Cause
You
the moment
think?
that the ring, like the text went off, it looked like she was gonna go to stands, for at least to me.
I didn't
I
see
was
that.
so, like, my fiancé and I
Did
were
you
watching
guys
it
see
together.
that? I didn't see that.
My fiancé and I were watching it together, and he said the same thing. He was like, "Wait, like, and did you see that? Like, she looked like she was gonna stand up, but she did it too late." And honestly, I agree. I think she was getting ready. I think she was going through a mental battle of like her connection, and I think she decided too late.
I think
And I
she
literally cause I was like, that's she's thinking about it in the way of a girl that wants to stand up and is about to stand up and has to make sure that their choices are correct. And then when that ring went off, it felt like it looked almost like everything kind of crumbled for her because I was like, the way that she cried after when they were like, "Okay, you're out." I was like, that those aren't tears of somebody that's like feels upset about the moment. Those are tears of somebody that feels like they fucked up.
but I'm happy to see Austin get chosen though. Finally. Ah,
Girl.
finally, because he's been in triangles and that
You
was
know
a
what?
triangle
But
too.
the issue is that Austin's hella passive. Like, Austin
Yes.
doesn't put and
He
he's been this way since the
he
beginning. And
yes,
his
you're
biggest
right.
issue is
He
he
did it.
doesn't put any energy.
Yeah,
He
that's
doesn't
true.
like he
That's
doesn't
so
do anything. He
true.
doesn't add anything into the relationship. It was a whole thing like with
Fact.
Amaya, it was a whole thing with Shelly. Like he's very backseat.
Yeah,
And I know
that's
for those
true.
of us that have watched last year's season, backseat might be a little traumatic for some of y'all. But
It's a trigger.
yeah, it's a little bit of a trigger. But like he takes a backseat in his own relationships.
It's
And I'm
like, "Come
like,
to me, come
Austin,
to me." I'm like, "Come
yeah,
on."
and it's like you put in the effort because I'm not gonna put
Yeah.
any in.
No,
And
that's
I'm
a
like,
I like you I like the fact you made that point. That was true, that was true.
this is
So,
true and
but
it bothers the
talking
hell out of
about
me.
being, what's the word? Proactive, I'll say.
Yes.
Bryan and Andrina, the real deal or just hot while it's hot? Because their energy to me is undeniable. But can they take that to the finals? Is sexual chemistry enough? Like, is
I
there
don't know. My
potential for a relationship or are they just playing the game?
here's my thing.
What's his background, by the way? Because he is he Dominican or Puerto Rican? He didn't say?
I got Puerto Rican vibes.
Yeah,
Not really sure,
yeah.
but
Well,
we'll
we
move forward
know
from that
that
one because I
Dominicans
don't
and
really know.
Puerto Ricans love each other.
Yes. But I mean that's true, yeah. But I don't know. I just like they have a lot of sexual chemistry because when they was
He
kissing in that in that
he
couch
was
thing or
all up
whatever,
in the
I was
yeah,
like
I was like
give him a
at
few
one
more
point
days.
I was like,
Give
did you
him a
see
few more days.
the camera even had to move up because
Yeah, because I was
oh
like,
god.
oh my God, we
She
about to
was
see
like Miss
fingers going in
Dominican
places.
Republic
And
or
I was like,
something, right?
yeah,
I
which
didn't know
makes a lot
that.
of sense. Like that girl is
Mm,
gorgeous.
she
She's a
is.
bombshell who
She is.
bombshelled. I was like,
Yes.
they haven't not that they haven't done well with any like female bombshells, but I was like, I have never seen a
She
bombshell the way that she did.
yeah.
The only other bombshell that was bombshell in the way that she is
Mm.
Miguel for me.
Oh, Miguel was
And
already a
Cinco from a
bombshell.
few seasons ago. But like
Yeah.
Miguel,
Yeah.
top tier,
Yeah,
top
he
tier
was.
bombshell. And
And he had the confidence
she's
and
right up there.
the
And so does she.
personality.
They
Yeah.
are for like male and female bombshells, they're up there because I'm like, I have never seen a
Yeah.
bombshell the way that they have.
That's true. That's true. So we're gonna talk about everyone's favorite character because I saw the TikTok you sent me today when he was getting down with Mary J. I don't want to be with you. Mm.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
Ace
Yeah.
Coco, game or real interest? Because when he said I miss Shelly, this guy is strategic. He
So
plays the
there's
game.
I don't know how
Ace,
much I
yes, we are
believe
talking
about
about
yes,
you.
we are talking about Ace. I don't know how much I believe what people are saying. There's a lot of talk. I know I've spoken to you about this before, that there's a lot of talk about those two having known each other prior to entering the villa. And there's a lot of talk about like like the fact that, there's so many like influencers this year that
Influencers,
nothing's very
yeah.
genuine in the sense of like they influencers know how to play the game, they know how the industry works. So there's a lack
True.
of like genuineness. And a lot of people say that those two kind of came in together, and I I don't know how I feel about that. But in terms of like I think Ace likes Coco. However, I don't think that he likes her in that way that's like, I'm gonna like
To go the
continue on into the
distance.
yeah, I think it's more so in that way of like
That's
Ace
fair.
having known that he needed to lock someone in so that he could stay long enough to also see his girl.
Let me tell you something. I
By the
think
way,
he's
Coco's
probably one of the
absolutely
smartest.
beautiful.
Yeah, I
She
know.
is gorgeous. Oh my God.
I
Sorry. Anyways,
know.
as you were saying.
But he's very like sharp. He's very sharp. There's something about him. I mean, he
And
probably likes
a
Shelly. I'm
few
not saying he
people
doesn't, but
no, I think
He's got game.
oh, so that's actually part of like what I was saying before. You just reminded me. So people are saying that they feel like that's why we saw this whole like back and forth with them in the beginning, like neither one of them knowing like whether or not they wanted to be together, and then they were finally gonna get coupled up together, and suddenly it was gonna be this big love story that they were gonna try to portray, which is like kind of what we are seeing. I'm like, y'all not wrong on that. Like
That's
we
true.
we went from seeing two
But if
people that were cat and mousing the entire time, and then suddenly he's like the
yeah,
most loyal thing in the world, where he was real excited when they was building the bombshell when Meg was there and he saw Andrina, and then suddenly he doesn't have a single
yeah,
interest in Andrina. I'm like,
I don't know.
that's that didn't feel right. I was like,
I
there's
told you I didn't
what
trust Jeremiah at the beginning. There was something off about him, and I feel Ace is kind of gives me that same like I don't know, like it's like the same chill. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I have to ask you because I have to go back just for a minute, guys.
okay.
I know that you guys love Amaya Papaya, but Amaya Papaya or just clingy? That move with Zach, the crying, like, what are the odds? What do you think? You think they're gonna get to the end? Because I don't see it.
I don't think so. I think
Yeah, I don't think so
Amaya
either.
has
He needs to do some inner work.
yeah.
And I say that with love
I say honestly,
because
let's
I
be
had
honest,
to
I
do
think
my own
every
inner
single
work.
person, no, I think every single person on this cast needs to do inner work because everybody's a hot mess. I don't know what the fuck is going on with the majority of them. Like
I mean, I've been there, done that.
I've like even like Landria probably she probably needs to do some work. Like I felt so bad for her at the end when she was like, I just want to find love. Like genuinely, like I just want to find like genuine love. I was like,
Mhm.
I feel for you, girl.
I
And
know.
like is making it difficult up in that villa. But in terms of Amaya, I think her big issue is that I know she says that she's not clingy and that's how she and I think here's and this is more of an Ace and Austin thing. And this is where I got the problem with those two. They have given her so much fucking trauma with that and with her being herself. And like I think there's nothing wrong with like you be a little bit more clingy, like, when you really liking
Nothing.
somebody, I
Yeah,
think there's
no.
nothing wrong with that. I think there's something wrong with when people use it against you to villainize you and to make you seem like a terrible person. And those 2 boys have done that to her, and, like, I think if you're clingy, like, that's fine.
Then you
Own
gotta
up
find
to
your
it.
own
Yeah,
clingy.
like, own up to it. Find somebody who's equally obsessed with you.
Yeah.
But I think where she is going wrong is by not realizing that she is kinda clingy, like, she gets into it, into something, and after a few days, she does get, like, kind of all over somebody, and some guys like that, other guys
But that's
don't,
okay if you
and
find the
that's
right
fine, yeah, that's
person.
fine, but I don't think you should kind of, like, introduce
Expect
yourself
it.
as, like, you're not that way because
Mm,
then you get
you're
hurt
not
when
being
somebody
true to
yeah, when
yourself.
somebody starts seeing those pieces of you and they're like, "Nah, I don't want this," the same way that Austin did. And then
Oh, yeah.
Austin did it in the worst way too, where he kinda just, like, stopped talking to her altogether. And, like,
Yeah.
I don't like, I don't again, I don't have a favorite of anybody right now, but I don't wanna see her end up like that all over again. Like,
Yeah.
it's
I hope
and
not.
and the thing is that I don't have any read on any of these new boys, these Casa boys, but, like, I could see Zach doing that same thing in 2 seconds because he did it to
Yeah.
Alandria just for not the for the fact that she didn't wanna kiss him. So, who's to say
Well,
that if she becomes clingy and if he's not like he doesn't like clingy, that he won't drop her too, and then I think that's the thing is that I don't wanna see that, like, not that I don't wanna see it, but, like, for me, I don't want that to become another, like, another person that, like, drops her for
Yeah.
being
No,
clingy or
that's
being this or being
you
that.
could tell that hurts too. I mean, it would hurt me. It would hurt
Well, look at
any. I
when she
mean,
was talking to JD alone, and he was like, "Well, like, you could be who
uh,
you are," and she started crying. I'm like, "You could see where that, like, trauma has already been instilled in her, like,"
it's almost
and
like
that's
I saw
why
that little girl. You know what
yeah,
I
and
mean?
that's why I'm saying, like, be open and honest about it, because 'cause you're hurting
Yeah,
yourself more by trying not to be that way when you know that that's how you are in a relationship. And
that's
again,
true.
that's fine to be like, if you are like somebody who likes to be a little more clingy, that's fine. But find your person who also wants to be
Matches
just as
your
clingy with
clingy.
you. Yes, because
100%.
somebody who's clingy and somebody who's not clingy cannot go together.
100%. Although I mean, that's a whole nother episode, but the whole
Yeah.
codependency thing is, it's not healthy. But that's not what this is about. So the villa is on fire. Like love triangles, kissing game. I've never seen a season when there's so much lip action. What the heck?
Can we talk about
Yo!
all of that real quick actually? Like,
Someone
it's
mentioned herpes in the threads. I was like, "What?" They get tested though. They do get tested.
yeah,
Although
but I
I don't want
think
to
yeah,
mention what I
no, I've noticed it,
said,
yeah, and people have been talking about it a lot.
but they get
And I know
tested.
no, I
So,
know, and I think but there some people that have it as, like, it's dormant though, so it
mhm,
wouldn't come up, and then I think the heat and all of
it's
that
more common than
also
you think. I
yeah,
tossed that somewhere.
and I think the thing too that makes it worse is that because it's so damn hot in Fiji, like, that I could see that irritating, and then they're doing a lot more kissing challenges this year than they ever have.
Listen,
It's
every
it's becoming a lot, and my biggest thing that I'm noticing with production this year, and I think I love this show. I don't love this season, though, because production is paying too much attention to social media. Per this
they're
season,
playing it
it's not
out.
it's yeah, it's
Yeah,
not about love this season. This season is an
yeah.
influencer game that's about people winning the money, and that's
It's
about
it's
producers paying
definitely a
attention to what people are
different.
doing on social
Yeah.
media and what they're saying on social media. Because this whole Casa Amor thing, this has never happened. They haven't, and I only know that they're paying attention to social media because I said it, and hundreds of thousands of people have also said it. Bro, just scrape everybody, give us a whole new cast. And what was the first thing
Yeah.
they did when we got to Casa? They said, "Yeah, every single one of y'all are single. You're starting over."
Oh, that's a good point.
They're paying hella attention to social media to the point where it's like, I I can't help you anymore. And it's like, it's
I don't
has me
know.
going insane.
But well, the other thing other than the whole kissing contest thing that's going on is the love triangles.
Mhm.
Nick, Jaden, Austin, Taylor, Coco, Ace, Taylor, Coco, Clark. Taylor is getting his groove back. See, now I see chemistry. But him and Alondria, I mean,
And
they gave me that friendship vibe. And I get
you
it,
know what
some
though?
relationships start as friendships.
But you know what though? I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that because of how production is doing things this year, it seems like there are a lot of conversations we are not seeing. There are a lot
I
of
heard
relationships
that.
we are not seeing.
I
Hannah
heard
apparently
that.
said
Yeah.
that her and Pepe were hella close and they had a lot. It sounds like
Oh,
everything.
wow.
Remember last year when Leah and Miguel made it
Leah.
to the end and everybody was like, I don't understand. They don't really have a
Yeah.
connection like that. We haven't seen. I'm more inclined to believe even now, like now, so after, um, who was it? I think after Hannah's dumping, that they are not showing us the majority of conversations because
What's
they
all
already no, I think they know that they fucked up already, and that everything that's happening in a lot of these conversations, they can't show us because the viewers would be confused because we didn't see any of this development prior because they didn't show it to us. And I think that that's becoming a big thing, and so that's why I'm saying I wanna give Taylor and Alandria the benefit of the doubt that they actually do have a very
mm.
strong connection that we are not seeing.
Well, you know what happens? The real story stays in the editing room. That's what happens. So,
But that's
but
also their biggest issue this year.
well, millions are watching. I mean, it's ridiculous. I have friends calling me and saying, "Hey, should I get Peacock cuz this is all people are talking about, and that's the truth. Like Wednesday today, we're recording, and we're like, everyone's, kind of just anticipating the next episode or talking about the last episode. And I want to talk about that ending. Nick and
I
Olandria
have
getaway car, plot twist, or producer trap, redemption, or more
I
chaos. What do you
I
think?
have a theory.
Ooh, okay.
My theory, just because of how dirty they're playing the game this year, in terms of production, um, okay, so my theory, this might be a little unhinged. I don't know.
Oh,
I
it's all
think
unhinged.
I think we won't see them until everybody comes back from Casa. And I think we're not going to see them until, everybody's back in, and then they're going to bring them in as like bombshells in a sense. And then they're going to look at Sierra and they're going to
Oh
look
my
at
God.
Taylor and be like, y'all have the choice to either recouple with your original couple,
Oh
or
my
you could stay
God.
coupled up with whoever you're with. And if that's what you choose, these two are in fact going home.
You imagine? Okay, remember, we gotta
Either
remember
they're
you
gonna
said
go
that.
home or they're gonna be vulnerable and like to be dumped. Or they're gonna have to choose between one or the other to dump.
Well, we have 2 weeks left, right?
I would
Yeah.
assume so, yeah. I'm
Okay.
I'm not gonna hold you. I actually, given that there has been no hideaway this season, minus when Sierra came
That's
in,
right.
because first of all, there's no point in having a hideaway. Everybody's fucking in the main room anyways. What do they need a hideaway for this year? Nothing. There is nothing to hide.
Well, there's been quite a few close calls in the speakeasy, so hey, you don't really need the
Well,
hideaway.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. We don't need a hideaway this year. But there have been no hideaways. There has been only one date, and that was on like day 3, and that was Hood and Jeremiah.
That's
We don't
right.
There have been no dates. Usually there are.
No
At
dates,
this
no
rate,
movie night. Well, hopefully movie night will
movie
be
night, I don't even
tomorrow.
think we'll need it. No, because
That's
remember,
true.
movie night, they don't
It's
do
to
until everybody's
destroy the
back.
relationships.
Yeah, it's to destroy relationships. And the only reason they would need them this year is if they want to destroy the friendship aspect of what's going on. And the only things they really can do is what certain comments that Huda has made or comments that the other islanders have made about Huda or about other people. That's it.
Which is
There
kind of
is
old news now.
Yeah, it's all old news. There is nothing else. So we don't even need movie night this year, to be quite honest with you, because that's, again, like you said, it's to destroy relationships and expose people for lying. And
Wow.
they're all fucking liars this year. Excuse me, but like they all kind of like are. There's no sisterhood. The only thing that
Nah,
there is
that's
there's a bromance going on with all the guys, because the
oh,
guys
the
only
whole
cry over the
crying.
guys.
Yeah, that was like, and I think
But
Taylor said
and
to
here's
Ace,
the
he was
thing.
like, "I love you, bro." I was like, "What is going on?"
Even when look at Pepe. Pepe didn't cry over Hannah leaving, but he cried about Nick.
I don't know.
So
The love is
there's
real.
a brotherhood. I wouldn't say there's a sisterhood per se,
No, absolutely not. I'm
personally.
sorry.
So
No.
it's like with that, those three are ready. What do we need? Like, we don't need dates at this point anymore. Like, I
Oh,
know they're probably gonna give us final dates and stuff during that final week, but I don't even feel like at this point I want them or need
I
them because there are no real
no.
couples.
It's
And
like
then
watching a
people,
train wreck. You gotta watch.
my guess at this point is if Amaya Papaya is still there, she's probably her and whoever she's in a couple with are probably gonna be the ones to win. I know, I think
Hopefully
Ace and
not.
Shelly are trying to gun for that, finishing and to
They
win
have a
it, but
chance.
I don't think
I
anybody
thought it
here
was gonna be
needs a
Sierra
chance
and
anymore.
Nick, but I don't know. We'll see.
I
I
mean,
don't
my hope is that, because I don't think she would stay with Elon anyways. Like, especially the
she
moment
seems to
she,
really like Nick.
yeah, and I think especially like if they were to tell her right now, girl, your man just got
You
dumped,
think she'll
she's
stay on
gone.
leaving? You think so?
That girl's gone.
We're gonna
Why?
see.
'Cause she won't. She's barely given Elon like a chance. Like, did she say that she feels like their conversations have a little more um, like a little more meat to it? Yeah, but
Yeah.
she also in that same sentence said, "Well, I'm also constantly thinking about Nick." So like,
Well, we're
you know what I'm
gonna
saying?
see. Casa delivered chaos, and now the fallout begins. Forget the loyalties. The sparks are burning out.
Girl.
Real drama. The real drama hasn't even started, though. And Thursday's coming. We're hours away and no one is safe. But what I want to know is who's the biggest manipulator so far? Like, comment, and tell us who's the biggest manipulator so far? Who do you think? I know you know my
And
answer, right?
it's
That's it for me.
well, I just want to say something real quick. So a lot of people have been trying to pin the Jeremiah dumping on Ace,
I
but
think so.
somebody, no, but somebody brought up a really good point, and
What?
I forgot about it until they said it. They said if you go back to that got milk challenge or whatever it was, that milk challenge,
Yes.
Ace wasn't the
Okay.
one that got that bucket though. That said who would you want to dump from the island? You want to know who got it?
I can't remember who.
Nick and Sierra. And Sierra looked at him behind the bucket and she was like, I already know who you want to dump. And then they dumped it on Jeremiah.
Oh. Yeah, but Nick is a follower. Ace is the leader. Ace is the leader of the pack.
But who's to say that Nick also didn't have a big hand in that, if
Because
not a
Ace
bigger
is,
hand?
because I don't
Because
see Ace
people,
that way.
I think, I think people are, because a lot of these dumpings haven't really made a lot of sense from what it seems like, to be quite honest.
Not really.
They're dumping a lot of people that had like some kind of connection, even though I do agree with the Jeremiah one.
It's a
Fight me on
cluster.
that if you could fight me on
Excuse,
that if you want to.
excuse,
But
excuse my French. This is a whole clusterfuck, and it's like
oh,
watching. It's like
yeah.
just watching because how
They
could
I
you not?
think
It's
but
like
I think the
how
dumpings
could you
are
not?
happening because like the people they're choosing to dump are people with strong connections. And that's like I think it's so that whoever's left has a chance at that money. I think this year is more about the money and we just obviously haven't heard it because I don't think production would put that in there anyways. But I think it's a lot more about the money and dumping people that you know have genuine connections that can make it above you.
Well, we'll have to see what happens next. Stay tuned.